micro gameplay part of things, and on a larger scale, to define our space pirate experience, we want you to have your space captain, your crew, and your ship.
Yes.
So these are the three big pillars. Talking of ships, here are some. They are conveniently parked here for the purpose of the demo. The main thing here is that any vehicle you see in the game, you can drive it, you can fly it. So this overbike, this fighter, you can fly them. Our demoists are going to give us a tour through outside of this temple into Ganesha City. So welcome to Ganesha City. So this is our in-game version of the city that you saw is in our trailers. So that's the same place. As I said already, you can part ways. Johan is going to be doing his stuff and still be in the same session, but we will follow Audrey, who's going to give us a tour of the inside of Ganesha City. So we start with the lower part of the city, where the hybrid are living.
You can see the shanty towns where the hybrids are living right over there.
It's a kind of a segregation going on in this city, with hybrid living down in the shanty towns and humans living up in the upper part of the city. We're gonna make a spotlight on this
on the
giant
left, you can see
fresco.
A beautiful example of the community creation.
Created by you.
Exactly, these murals, religious murals
it's
depicting,
really
of course, the divinity Ganesha. And as you can see, we had this huge wall, so we had to put it there. Keep in mind that there will be many places, especially in huge city, to display actually creations from the community. So this would be a unique way for you guys to actually see your creations in the final game.
In the same way, you can pick up any vehicle and drive it. You can land any place in the city. There's no problem. You can enter a lot of places as well. We'll see this in a moment. We really like this position in Ganesha City on the foot of this huge statue. And this statue is mixing high-tech elements such as hologram and old-style statues. And we really like this very specific atmosphere that it brings to Ganesha City and to science fiction as we see it. You can see there's a lot of traffic in the city, but we'll see in the updated videos on the traffic that we'll have later that we've improved this a lot over the past few months. In the city, so you've got the traffic, you've got statues, but you also got some specific locations, such as here. You can see the police station that's guarded with scouting ships, police scouting ships, and also a heavy frigate. You can use your spyglass to have information on everything, and it's kind of an upgraded version of the camera
from the first game, exactly. Yeah.
So you can take pictures and etc. But you can do much more with this spyglass. Here we're scanning the traffic to see what kind of vehicles are there. Here we're scanning this building to see it's a temple. You can enter this temple the same way we were in a few minutes ago. There's a bank here if you want to do some robbery or if you just want to withdraw money to go to that shop, for example.
For a pirate, all these locations are opportunities. You can steal those places, you can attack them, you can also choose to actually buy something. If you want to be a nice pirate.
Exactly, in the shop you can buy augments, you can buy gear, you can buy new outfits, so it's really up to your liking. So here Audrey is going to steal another borrow another overbike. So in this version, there's no police coming after you for this, but it's coming into this version. So here, what we are listening to is also a community-created asset, and especially music for Radio Cheetah.
Yeah, the Space Pirate
radio. Yes, exactly. So we'll leave you to listen to this. So Johan is still here playing with us. So we are coming to this location. That's the gate of Ganesha City Main Street. It's the opening of the city, and it's a place where tourists from all over System 3 are like to come and to take pictures of this giant Ganesha statue. that we're going to visit a bit later in the
Yeah,
demo.
we're going to sit closer.
Yeah. So now we say that BGNE 2 is about your character, your being yourself and expressing yourself in the game. So you can do it with your captain, space pirate captain, but also with your ships.
Yeah, basically keep in mind that all the aspect of your pirate fantasy, you will be able to customize them in the game. So you will be able to customize, of course, your small ships, the fighters, as we call them, but you will be also able to customize in the same way your huge mothership that we will see a bit later in the demo. So here, Audrey is playing with the various modules that are composing her fighter and changing completely, of course, the visual aspect of this fighter, but also changing the way this ship will, the handling and the way you pilot this ship. She's also playing with the gear, and she will finish with all the cosmetic elements to customize her ship. So the color palette, of course, but also the pattern, and she will finish this by putting an emblem, pirate logo on her ship. And you will see that as soon as she has finished the ship, she will be able to play with this ship in the demo.
Instantly,
exactly,
you get into
created.
the ship. Yeah,
exactly. So
We're
in the distance, Johan, as you can see, as he approached a bit too close the big statue, the big Ganesha statue.
So we switched to the
exactly.
point of view.
And there are rules in this city, and it attracted the police, and the police is now attacking Johan. So Audrey is going to try to join him
taking some hits.
Exactly, to help him fight all those small
He's
police.
a bit outnumbered.
Exactly, the small police fighter. And there's also a big frigate there, and our two players are not strong enough at the moment to take down this frigate, so they have to make sure that they take down this small ship and try to escape. As you can see, we have this pretty nervous dogfight that is...
now we're back on Audrey.
Exactly, Audrey is coming to help Johan. There will be also fights with big motherships. Those fights will play totally differently. It will be much slower. You will have to move your ship around the other one and fight at the right moment. Exactly. But the dogfights are, they play like this.
And there's something we need to add is that you have augments for your ships as well.
Yeah, for instance, you could have healing missiles, and you could shoot them at some friends to heal them during a co-op fight. So they're doing a pretty good job taking down all those small fighters from the police.
And as we said, so here is the big frigate.
Yeah.
And they're a bit too weak for now.
Strong. You're seeing that the missiles don't break it, so
they're going to have to escape from here. Yeah. But before this, we asked Johan to go very close to the head of the statue,
so you can see the details.
To show you the details of this giant statue that was built by the inhabitants of Ganesha
Probably
City.
built by Hybrid Slave, by the way.
Probably, yes. Yeah. The dark side of the statue.
Exactly.
So Audrey is now putting a marker on her mothership, which is parked a bit further away from the city. It's a few thousand kilometers away, so we're going to be going to that place. But don't worry, because we have really big speeds in the game. We'll be there in no time. So
stay with us.
Stay with us. Before this, Audrey will do a small stunt close to the statue.
Yeah. Pretty risky.
Yes, thank you. And she's going to fly over Ganesha City. So that's the city we were in a few minutes ago. We're going to aim at Cameron Spaceport, this city, and then take up the sky to the to Audrey's mothership. And now that's my favorite moment of the demo. I'm saying to everyone, please take a moment to remember where we were 10 minutes ago. We were inside a hidden temple beyond the surface of Ganesha City. We fought a close quarter combat with some guards and scientists. Then we escaped through the city with overbikes and through the traffic. We fought against the police around the giant statue and then flew to this location on top of the planet. So really, in a few minutes, we went seamlessly from a small interior to the grand view of the full planet.
Exactly.
And that's one of the key things in BGNE 2. It's that difference of scales that you can feel during the gameplay and transitioning from a small scale, like a human scale, to a planetary scale. And going through the spaceship scale, so it's very mind-boggling, and that's what really drives us to move forward. We want that feeling to be super cool.
A quick comment
yeah.
about the
Oh, yeah,
mothership
sorry.
of Audrey. She customized her mothership to make it look like the Gada, the famous mothership of the Kini,
Yeah.
the one we've been showing in our two trailers. But you can imagine that you can customize it in a totally different way.
And it's roughly 500 meters
Yeah,
long.
it's pretty
so
long.
It's a really big.
Pretty huge ship, yeah.
So Audrey has exited her spaceship, fighter, sorry, and you can see a very rough effect on her character. It's just a work in progress effect to show you that you've got a shield when you are out in the open. You can breathe with no difficulty. If you want to see a better looking version, look at the 2018 trailer
Yeah, our last
when
trailer.
Shani is exiting her space fighter to go to the
space, yeah.
to the space, and she has this kind of effect. I was talking about scale, so it's
Yeah.
very important for us to have links between the different scales
Yeah.
of gameplay. So this
this
geoglyph is kind of
This is another great example of community creation. Yeah, this is a giant geoglyphs. We want to have several geoglyphs like this on the surface of the different planets.
reminds us of the Nazca. Like
Exactly. So this has been created by the community, and the idea is that when you see a geoglyph like this from space, when you are flying above the planet, these geoglyphs are actually hints for treasures hidden on the ground of the planet, or maybe
mysteries,
mystery secret entrance to temples. And the idea is that we want you to come closer to this geoglyph and land on the ground of the planet to try to find the secret inside this geoglyph.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a way for us to attract you to the surface of the planet
Exactly.
From outer space.
Yes.
We are going to use the spyglass again to look at Ganesha City from this distance. You will see that we can scan everything in the game, including large cities.
Ganesha City is pretty far away at that point.
It is,
and
but
we're zooming on it.
We're zooming on it. We see the information,
Yeah.
Ganesha City, and we can even see the giant
The statue. Yeah.
that we flew around a few minutes ago. It's here. It's rendered in real time by our engine. So if
And
Go
yes,
ahead.
traffic is still running in the city at
Exactly.
that moment. Everything is still
if
there.
Johan, our co-op player, is in the city,
Yeah.
we can join him again, and there's no loading, nothing. It's all seamless.
Exactly.
And when we say seamless, we mean that not only we can go from scales to different scales in the same time, but also the different systems are crossing themselves seamlessly. This is our universe map. So it's not a regular 2D map of the game universe. It's a real thing. This is the planet that we were on a few minutes ago, rendered normally, and it's just a point of view that we give to you. So here we can see the giant geoglyph here that Emil and I just talked about. We can see Ganesha City. We've placed icons so that you can conveniently find your way back to the places you've been already. We've got some question marks to tease you on some new stuff. And earlier in the stream, Gab and Emil showed you a concept art of the planet of Soma, and this is what you see here. So we've got New India, and if we rotate the planet on the left, then we see Naraka. So that's the side that's hit by meteorites,
Yeah, exactly.
and it exists in the game already.
You can see those huge craters, created by all those meteorite showers, falling on the ground of the planet. This side of the planet, Naraka, of course, there are no cities there. You can't build a city like Ganesha City on this side of the planet. But if you want, you can go and explore it as a space pirate.
And as we saw in the artwork, there are some mines for...
Exactly. There will be things to explore, of course, on this side of the planet.
But it's a very dangerous part of the planet that
you
cannot really settle in.
No.
If we zoom back again a bit, we see that this is the planet we are working on. It's very big in size. As you see, Ganesha City is small, but we can even zoom back and to see in real time. Again, it's in-game. It's not an image. We see the real Soma, the real Deus, which is the gas giant. Soma is rotating around, and it's rendered by our simulation, actually. And if we zoom back again, we see the whole System 3. And again, this is your zone for playing.
The area that you'll have to explore in the game. This is a great moment to talk about our day and night cycle.
Yeah.
We didn't code any day and night cycle in this game. The day and night cycle is created by the fact that planets are rotating around the sun. So we have actually a solar system simulation in the game created this day and night cycle.
So we've got beautiful sunsets.
Exactly.
But they are procedurally generated sunsets.
Exactly.
So we are back on Audrey, and actually we're going to switch to Johan to end up this demo. I said several times that you can part ways with your co-op friends in the game and then join again without all of this seamlessly. And that's you can do it in a small dungeon, you can do it in a city, but you can also do it across the whole universe. So here Johan is a living ground, and you can see that because he's still in the atmosphere, there is friction, air friction on his spaceship. As soon as he's going to be out of the atmosphere, the effects of the flames are going to diminish like this, meaning no air friction anymore, and now he can reach speeds that are huge speeds.
Yeah.
Audrey is still here on the planet, so as I said, everything is happening in the same universe completely seamlessly. I think that's the end of our game.
So if you start in the game without anything and you get your first spaceships, even if then later you have a larger spaceship, you can keep the smaller one into the big mothership. That's the same thing for the crew. If you start with 1 or 2 members in your crew, then you can have them in your big mothership later. That gameplay mechanic of what we call the Russian dolls, so bigger, smaller into the bigger, and then your characters, is very close to what we had in fact in Beyond Good and Evil 1, when the characters were getting out of the hovercraft. So here we have that monkey, which is my playable main character here, but of course in that game, you can select your character and create your own character. Just to give you a feeling of scale, that ship is about 20 meters long, and the other one, the mothership, is about 400 meters long. I'm going to go close to it so that you can see the size. So when we have large spaceships like that, the good thing, the interesting thing is that they are a real level of gameplay. You can go inside. We have interiors for those big ingredients. So imagine I'm at the beginning of the game. I'm starting the game. I have nothing, but I am like like in Beyond Good and Evil 1, you start without anything, and you have to get some money to like level up and get your first vehicles. So imagine I'm just delivering pizzas here. It's like a side quest or just a way among many to get some money. I'm delivering pizzas to those guys. So imagine it's not my spaceship. That's the beginning of the game, and this could be an interesting way to trigger the first ingredients of the adventure, because the spaceship is a playable interior. You can get inside, you can sell your pizza, and then instead of getting out of the ship, you could decide to explore the ship. And why not discover that there is some slavery, some human trafficking and things like that. The good thing is that in Beyond Good and Evil 2, like in the first episode, you can take pictures. So if I'm taking a picture of evidence of the things I'm seeing in the game, then I can share those pictures with the guys in the city, for example, and then I can trigger discussions with those guys based on the picture I took. So that's a very interesting mechanic that can create that feeling that you can explore everything and you can gather informations and share those informations with NPCs, but also between players. Another very interesting thing here is the feeling of scale. Here we know that the players, they will explore everything. They will want to go everywhere. So we need to handle large scale ingredients, like that huge statue, where you can go very close to it and you can look at all the details on the statues. And of course, you can go inside of this kind of statue, and you can also get on top of it. I just want to show you something interesting about the scale and the feeling of scale. So I'm going to land on the top of the statue and you will realize how big it is. So here we have a wonderful vista. And I want to show you, so I'm going to go more in the developer edition mode, where I can move the camera very easily, and you can really notice and understand the feeling of scale when you look at that little monkey on top of the big statue. This is just a part of the head of the statue, and you're already very small. And it's very interesting to understand the scale of things. Here you see that the statue is really, really big. The statue is about 700 meters high. And the very interesting thing, again, is that, in fact, that statue, which is big, is just into a big city that is very small, in fact, compared to the continent here, the size of that big island, and which is a small part of a big planet. So you realize that you are just a little dot on that big planet, which is, in fact, just a small planet around a bigger one, which is a small dot in the big universe. So when we started that technology, we thought that we needed to handle that feeling of scale and in a realistic way. Before going into details, we wanted to make sure that the engine was capable of handling this kind of thing. When you look at this sunset, it's not exactly a sunset made by artists. It's really the combinations of physical ingredients, you know, the light that is changing depending on the atmosphere. So you can see here the different colors. And the fact that, of course, the planet is rotating around in space, around the big planet. So here I'm doing a kind of time lapse. I'm modifying the time so that you can understand better how it works. You see that everything is turning like in a real solar system. So yes, I'm increasing the speed. You see the night here with the cities. So another important thing is that you can, at any time, you can go everywhere. So if I'm going into another city, there is no loadings and things like that. Everything is seamless because it handles that big universe in a consistent way. There is no sheet or things like that. You can really appreciate the point of view wherever you are. It will be the same mechanics. So that was one of the big features we wanted to make sure that we had before showing the game to the public, to everybody, so that we wanted to make sure that the technology was working and this big ambitious game was feasible. I'm going back to my spaceship. I want just to show you some gameplay ingredients. I'm going to change a little bit the time so that we have a bit more sun. Yeah. So that spaceship is very, very nice. It's very close to the Beluga we had in Beyond Good and Evil 1. It can handle very large speed, but it's also very easy to do loopings and trigger very fast movements. So it's a dogfighter. I can increase the speed. So this is a classic plane speed we have on Earth. We are about 1,000 kilometers per hour. But you can increase that speed dramatically, like this, for example, and you will see it. So the speed is increasing now. You see that it's about 5,000 kilometers per hour. Let's go back in the city so that we can really understand the speed, and I can increase the speed again. Whoa. Use some tricks, movements, and then we are going to do a looping, for example. So you can combine anything, any movements, and the very nice thing too is that you can even increase the speed to 20,000 kilometers per hour, which is a lot. I'm going to try, to drift like that. So at any time you have the drifting mode, you have all these very interesting movements. But of course, the biggest things you want to do in this kind of situation is to go in space. So let's trigger higher speed. And you see this little effect around the spaceship is because of the friction of the atmosphere. If I don't increase my speed, there is no reason to have more friction. But if I'm increasing the speed, you will see that the effect is stronger. And same thing if I'm going very, very fast. So depending on the quantity of atmosphere, you can have a stronger effect. Until you start burning. But you see, with those very high speed, you can really travel very, very far and very fast. Just changing the time of the simulation so that we can appreciate the wonderful view in space. So if I decide to go on this planet or the satellite, which is somewhere around there, I can go there seamlessly. And the more the further you are of the planet, the faster you can go because there's no more atmosphere, so no more friction. So here still have a little friction. But of course you can go back onto the planet whenever you want. A very interesting thing too is that there's a lot of biomes on the planet, like this desert, or you have frozen lands on the planet, different cities. So we don't want empty planets. We want planets with landmarks, with places to explore. There are mountains where you have some monks living there. So they are not empty, repetitive planets. The planets we aim to work on, to make our planets with life. And the planet itself is living somehow. For example, that planet has different, I would say, big biomes. Because that planet, as I told you, is a satellite of the bigger one, the one that is in the foreground. A part of that planet is protected, like the moon. Our moon is a part of the moon is protected by Earth from the big asteroids and meteorites. So here that's exactly the same thing. The cities are built in the safe place where nothing is falling from space. But I will show you a bit later the opposite part of that planet, where you can have real-time giant meteorites, asteroids falling and modifying the planet's ground. The very interesting thing is that this kind of event is connected to the life on the planet. So that, yes, you've got those cities on the safe place, but once the big giant meteorites are falling on the other side of the planet, then you have the big companies that are sending the slaves on those very dangerous places. And a lot of slaves are dying trying to gather the meteorites goods, all the things that are falling from space and crashing. They are taking those rare materials and risking their life. So it's not just about the planet on one side and the story on the other one. The planet and the story are connected, and that's a very important thing for us. So again, let's look at that planet modification process. Okay, so now we are back on the other side of the planet, the side that is bombarded by meteorites. Here, we just want to showcase the ability that we have in the engine to modify the whole planet in real time. So here, for example, imagine that you're flying over that region. You can have a huge meteorite falling in front of you, and you will have all these one incredible effects on the planet, but also on the other spaceships. So that's a very important feature for Beyond Good and Evil. We want interactivity to be the heart of the whole experience, not just with characters, not just with spaceships, but also with a big, huge planet. So thank you for watching that video. This is our first Space Monkey debrief. Many more will come, and we would love to have you leaving us your comments on this Space Monkey program site. So please comment, tell us what you think, and expect way more videos like that. Thank you very much.
Cook, Do you hear me?
Roger, Uma.
Half the crew is dead drunk in my sick bay after eating your miraculous space chili. Any thoughts?
Well, I have no idea what you mean. Our food is healthy. Invigorating.
Captain to crew. Dead monkey in the crow's nest.
I repeat, monkey down.
El Space Chili strikes again.
Copy that, Captain. Hey, Paige. Bet we could use your space chili to overclock our engines.
Negativo, mi amor. Only you can melt my sockets.
Keep laughing, fools. The key ingredient to good cooking is love.
What?
Engineering to officers, we are dead in the water. I repeat.
Main engines are cursed. Nox, come in. What have we got on the scanners?
Jack shit. Nada. Hey, wait. I see something. 3 o'clock starboard. It's massive. Get back here, Shani. Hold off!
Lock down the bay column.
Give your auxiliary engines, deploy shields and bring up out now! Brace yourselves!
Gods protect us.
Where's your master? I don't deal with domesticated.
Hey, the fuck? I ain't got no master, but I do have your little toy.
Show me the idol. Show me the Redeemer.
Here you go, mate.
Hey, G.
Yo, hand it over. I got a hot date who don't do late.
Monkey's got a date.
Mwah.
What? What?
What? That's Swiss fucking chocolate, pig. Bon appetito.
I want every fucking cop in this fucking city after that fucking bastard!
Grab my chassis, Noxie!
Easy, bro. Wearing bang, motherfuckers! Fuck me.
Damn!
Nights and nights and night. Persecution with a
It's about bloody time. Let's see what we've got. Moksha. Just as Yama described it. True freedom lies beyond.
The Beyond Good and Evil 2 development team is ready for another check-in. This time, highlighting their progress on player movement and showing new gameplay of both on-foot and spaceship piloting action.
The player is a pirate, so we have two kinds of very important gameplay, the ship itself and the character itself when he's moving on his feet, and the fact that he can use his staff, a bit like the first BG. Yeah? So we are working on all the mechanics of the staff. We are working on all the mechanic, locomotion, how the character is moving. We have the jetpack. It's a good way to move in 3D.
Actually, you can also board the ship. So you are inside the enemy mothership trying to fight your way through the different rooms. And you have your jetpack, so you can jump and escape and maybe come back to PH after this. It's up to you, actually.
Another nice thing with pirates is that they are very mysterious in Beyond Good and Evil 1. They were inside caves. They were not like, you were not able to see them in the world. So that was very mysterious. And it is part of things we will explain or discover is what happened to the pirates.
Being evasive is one of the things pirates do best, but the team knows that when you're playing with friends, you won't want to lose track of them so easily.
In Beyond Good and Evil 2, we have huge spaces, so we have a big speed, and it's really hard in multiplayer to follow each other at those speed. So you really quickly you will lose your friends, and that's why you have the Armada, because in the Armada you can lock behind your friend.
The design of the game is pretty advanced now. We know where we are going, so we are in this phase of prototyping a lot of things today. So it's cool because sometimes we see some very fun stuff coming. So.
To stay up to date on Beyond Good and Evil 2 and talk with the development team about what you'd like to see in the game, go to bgegame.com to sign up for the Space Monkey.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is massive, and traversing its open star system is completely seamless whether you're on foot, in vehicles, or in space. You play as a customizable space pirate captain who carries a sword, a gun, and a jetpack as basic equipment. Your character and weapons can also be enhanced with augments, which grant special abilities and let you experiment with different effects in combat. Trapping foes in a time-slowing bubble, for example, or freezing them in place with chained electricity. Enemies can also use augments, like these scientists who can heal their soldier buddies with augmented bullets, so you'll want to get a close look at who's carrying what and plan your strategy accordingly. In order to see what your enemies have equipped, you'll need your spyglass, which displays the stats, skills, and augments of other characters, as well as revealing more details about locations and points of interest, even from space. It's a key part of recruiting, too. Take a close look at an NPC with your spyglass, and you'll see if they have any skills worth adding to your space pirate crew. Of course, your crew isn't the only company you can bring along. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is an online game, and while you can play solo, co-op buddies can jump in or out at any time. You won't be tethered together either, and if you want to wander off and explore while another player does their own thing, you're free to do so. Welcome to Ganesha City, a dense, vertically built metropolis where the rich live at the top and the poor huddle in shanty towns built into the sides of the city's foundations. It's sprawling and richly detailed, and it's just one small corner of a moon called Soma, itself just a small piece of Beyond Good and Evil 2's gigantic open world. It's also built for aerial exploration, so in addition to your jetpack, you'll have access to a wide selection of flying vehicles. Any vehicle you see can be commandeered and driven, and they can all tune in to Radio Cheetah, a station by space pirates for space pirates. You'll also be able to fully customize your own rides, swapping out modules, wings, engines, equipment, and cosmetic options to tailor your machines to look good and hold their own in a fight. You'll need special equipment or skills to take on larger vessels, but your fighter ships are agile, able to execute barrel rolls, lock onto targets with homing missiles, and dogfight with police if you inadvertently break some city law like flying too close to a major tourist attraction or robbing a bank. And like your weapons, ships can be equipped with augments, enabling you to do things like firing healing missiles at your co-op partners. Your ships are also capable of hitting extreme speeds, covering thousands of kilometers in a matter of seconds. This is essential for getting around planets in a hurry, as well as for flying out into orbit to rendezvous with your mothership, a huge vessel that serves as your home base. Even out here in orbit, you can seamlessly transition from piloting a ship to spacewalking with a nano spacesuit to protect you from the vacuum. Popping out of the cockpit and into the cold abyss of space allows you to use your spyglass to investigate a planet, peering down at treasure-hiding geoglyphs, cities, and settlements, all of which are still buzzing with activity far below you, enabling your co-op partner to explore and interact normally with city life even when you're this far apart. Alternately, you can switch over to the universe map, a fully 3D rendering of System 3 that can be zoomed in and out to give you an overview of everything from close-ups of a planet's surface to the continuously orbiting layout of the entire system. For more, watch the full Beyond Good and Evil 2 livestream linked in the description below, and to find out more as it develops, be sure to subscribe to this channel and visit us at news.ubisoft.com.